Woke Supremacy News.
When you platinum and you getting 50,000 a show, I've been there. There's a door that you can walk in. I'm not sure if it's homo or if it's Illuminati.
Black Americans as a marketing firm for their organization. And where did that money go? Well, certainly not to Black America. So I had this wonderful thing this morning, this wonderful experience, and I'll tell you why it was wonderful. I had breakfast with Ye at his hotel, and it was wonderful because it was one of those moments where I realized how far I've come from where I was. The first time that I ever came to Paris, ironically, I was having breakfast with a woman whose family I worked for, and she was so awful to me. And I'll never forget this moment because it almost ruined Paris for me. It was a wealthy woman who told me as we sat in her hotel, which was the George Cinq Hotel, she said, "Candace, a girl like you shouldn't even be here. Look how expensive the omelet is that you're eating. Do you see how expensive it is? An omelet is $35. A girl like you can't afford this hotel, or you can't afford to stay here." And I remember I was so upset that when I left that breakfast, I was crying because I was so angry that anybody had spoken to me like that. And fast forward, I guess, more than 10 years now, and I'm sitting at a hotel with having an omelet, by the way, with Ye West, and we are discussing.
She couldn't afford a $35 omelet, and look at her now. Wow. You can do anything you put your mind to.
The internet, which we just broke over this t-shirt. I just started jotting down some things that he was saying because he was actually giving an interview to another magazine. And he said, "I perform for an audience of one, and that's God." I loved that statement, so I wrote it down. He also said, quote, "Utopia is possible for it not who we are being led by." I'm going to say that again. Utopia is possible for it not who we are being led by, which of course leads me to think about Black Lives Matter again. And
Kanye West prays to the Baphomet. Kim Kardashian walks around with a pentagram on her back. Let's stop with the mind games. His God is not your God, but let's continue on.
These people who claim to be leaders and knew that what they were doing was further dividing the masses. I mean, the whole idea here via the Black Lives Matter movement was to make sure that Black people saw oppression and saw white supremacy surrounding them and convincing them that if they leaned into this narrative, that somehow their lives would be better. It was a mirage. Actually, that's a word that Ye used during the breakfast too. It was basically a mirage, right? This idea that somehow all we needed to do was burn down our own neighborhoods. All we needed to do was have our youth wearing a George Floyd t-shirts. All we needed to do was loot Targets and loot these expensive stores, and somehow justice would be delivered. And of course it wasn't. There is a deep...
Hold up. Now let me make this clear, right? Who encouraged the people to burn down the community? Tamika Mallory got on the news and encouraged the youth to set the cities on fire. And the government, your government, let her get away with that shit. If I would have said something like that, I would be in jail. The INFAC leader, right? Forgot the brother name. The black brother that had the black military group stood outside and looked through his scope at the police on the roof and just pointed his gun and looked at them. He has a federal case right now. He's quiet. So the dude that actually, who it appears to be, who's not being sponsored, which I had questions about him, because now every time you have a black hero, you got to look at him with the side eye. We can't trust us. Look, in a prime example, it's Black Lives Matter right now. Y'all mad at Kanye West for wearing a shirt that says White Lives Matter, when you really sit back and think about it, most of the people in the hood don't really give a damn about him wearing that shirt. It's the puppets. So because the internet, the algorithm is pushing that on you, It's making you believe that you really give a damn about that when you try to figure out how to rob Peter and pay Paul. But just to set the record straight, Tamika Mallory, yeah, you was the one who sat up there. And during that time, let me give y'all a little history lesson. Me and my son talked on the phone. We squashed our beef. I promised the brother I wasn't going to make no more videos about him, and we was going to, be cool. But then I seen Tamika Mallory entice those kids to burn the goddamn AutoZone and the Targets down. But what really was they was burning down Black-owned and Latino, mostly Latino-owned businesses in the Bronx. The last of the small mom-and-pop businesses was being burnt down. She encouraged that. He sat there and didn't say nothing about it. Like a deadbeat, like one of them parents, your kids is hitting on everybody in the park, and you see your kid, but you won't correct your kid, until finally somebody's parent come in the park and whoop your kid and your kid ass and your ass. Yeah.
Irony, and a sad irony when you consider that wearing a t-shirt has led such a tremor throughout the world, right? A t-shirt that says White Lives Matter, which should be implied, right? White Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, it should be implied. Yet people are angry and they are being vicious online because they can't believe that we have the audacity to detract from the movement, which is a lie, right? Black Lives Matter. If Black Lives Matter, then some of these things that we have been talking about on this show, things I've been talking about throughout my entire political career, would be getting attention, not the t-shirt, right? Not the t-shirt, but these actual statistics that matter. And here are just a few of them.
Listen up. Black Lives Matter, right? I had to create slogans. Like he got his snot box rocked. He got his TV turned off. I had to create slogans to bring awareness to all the deaths that was happening to up-and-coming rappers. To where that my audience all over, and people all over the world was like, yo, this nigga is ill. Is this the illest nigga in Nebraska? Yes, I am. I had to reinvent myself to bring awareness to black deaths that nobody gave a damn about. Now when you look at TV, you see commercials with 50 Cent getting ready to actually put a spotlight on all the killings that's been happening in Utah, or to these young rappers. Yeah. I don't care what y'all say. I'm the one that put the spotlight on drill music, especially in New York City. Where's drill music at now? This shit came so strong and ended so strong. It had so many deaths, the niggas that was killing wiped themselves out. Little D thing. I pray to God that he find his way home back to his mother and his family. He done went from having gun cases to now he's sitting up there with a damn near a federal case in the feds. K Flock fighting a murder case after y'all see me go on Math Hoffa show. Shout out to Math Hoffa. Math Hoffa is about to be the Arsenio Hall of YouTube. Shout out to Math Hoffa. I watched Math Hoffa climb the charts. Climbing, putting out videos. Look at him now. Shout out to Math Hoffa. I sat on Math Hoffa platform and talked about how these drill rappers. Let me say something, right? Matter of fact, I'll get into that a little bit later. These drill rappers started making more money. Method Man sat on Math Hoffa platform and said he don't understand how these young up-and-coming artists that's independent are making more money. Some of these artists is getting on jets, private jets. Method Man is a legendary rapper / actor now who said he's never been on a private jet. Oh, let's get to that. But you can make a song based off of a murder that really, really happened. Diss the dead and go to the bank and cash out. 2 months later, that rapper's dead. Somebody's dissing him. The person who dissed them, there's a big bag for them. There's a concert for them, and then 3 months later, they're dead. Welcome to drill music. I'm the
Black